Hey, what's going on? Alright, so this video is actually to help out a buddy of mine, John. Everybody say hello to Jack. So John was telling me that he slipped on some ice in the driveway and down he went. John, being an old bastard like myself, is not quite so as in shape as he used to be. So falling down the way he did, he ended up throwing out his back, landed poorly, twisted, really screwed some things up there in the spine. So John has an assumption at this point that he's herniated a disc in his back, something that he's done in the past, so he kind of knows what it feels like. But surprisingly, has no methods in his toolbox to appropriately deal with a herniated disc. So this is really specifically for John. This is not medical advice. I am not a doctor of any type, but going to explain what I did when I had a similar situation, when I was similarly so far gone out of shape. I don't claim to be super in shape right now, but I am certainly better than I was, and I hope this helps. So, in my own situation, when I hurt myself, and I didn't hurt myself falling. Quick story, I was in a gym, I was doing deadlifts, holding the weight, and some idiot tripped over something behind me, fell into me, and my immediate reaction was not to drop the weight, which it should have been, but I held on to that weight and I followed it, and it was a significant amount of weight, so you can imagine how I tweaked my back. John fell, but he seemed to think he has a herniated disc. Anyway, so when it happened to me, one of the first things I noticed, besides the excruciating pain, the inability to get out of bed, walk, stand, that sort of thing, was when I looked in the mirror, I noticed, now I'm going to exaggerate a bit here, I was twisted like this. Maybe a little less so than this, but this is a bit of an exaggeration. Leaned forward, leaning to the side. And in the mirror, when I tried to straighten myself out, right, from that lean forward to the side position that was the least uncomfortable, to the position that looked straight and looked most natural, was the most uncomfortable. I noticed that the pain was very much on the side that I was leaning away from. And in doing some research, and you guys, I encourage you to do the same thing, do your own research. What I found was that's a very natural reaction, right? You're gonna lean away from the area that's in pain. There's a scientific name for it. I don't know what it is. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physical therapist. I'm just a guy who has an experience, and I'm willing to share that with my buddy John and also with you. So, what I did was, did my research, and I found that one thing that gave me immediate relief, and this may or may not work for you, is I picked a wall, and so the pain was, let's say, on my right side. So I leaned my shoulder into the wall, and just shifted my hips towards the wall, okay? And at first, I still maintained that lean forward position, but I was able to get some relief and a small amount of stretch just by shifting my hips towards the wall. It was certainly easier than trying to muscle it over this way, right? Shift the hips to the wall. After doing that a few times over the course of actually a couple of days, I found that I was able to actually lean back while I did this, right? So that was some indication that actually I was healing a bit, because I was able to lean back more while I shifted the hips towards the wall. So that can help a lot. I'm going to show you some other things you can do, stuff that really, I think, helped me the most. These are some floor stretches that you can do, part of the McKenzie protocol, the physical therapy. I'm going to show you the ones that worked the best for me and might work for you. But also, again, I encourage you to do your research, look into all the different stretches in the McKenzie protocol, because some of them might work better for you. And of course, there's some risk to any physical activity, even if it's a therapeutic physical activity. So do your research. Don't take what I'm saying as gospel, if you will. Do your research. All right, on to the exercises. Okay, to do these stretches, I'm gonna need you to get down on the floor. Now, I know that's difficult for you right now. Moving at all is difficult. I'll wait. Down there yet? All right. The first thing you're gonna do, you guys still trying to get down low? Is you're gonna lay on the floor. Put your head to the side if you like, straight ahead. And you're just gonna lay here. Straighten your spine and just relax. Breathe normally. And you're just gonna lay here. Arms straight out. Try and just relax into the floor. You can do this for about 15 to 30 seconds. All right, so I'm not really counting. So the next thing you're going to do is you bring your arms up to your sides like this. And what you're going to want to do, and this is difficult at first, so you have to work your way into it, and a little bit of pain is okay? But, if it gets excruciating, stop, seek medical advice. So what you want to do is lift yourself up as high as you can. You may not be able to do this very high initially, but the idea is to engage your lower back while keeping your spine straight, okay? And you're gonna lay yourself down. And what you want to do is raise yourself up as high as you can, right? And it may not be very high initially, or maybe, it's not so bad, you're gonna get higher, right? And you're gonna want to do this up, down. Take about 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down approximately. Up, down. Up, down. Now initially you're going to want to do this about 10 times. And the idea behind it is something to do with actually pumping the fluid, if you will, in your spine, okay? While engaging your lower back muscles, okay? So you can do that about, like I said, 10 times initially. You can probably work your way up to about, 30 later on, okay? I would say that would be the extreme end of it. You may never need to get that far. Okay, so anyway, you do that a number of times. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do some static holds where you bring yourself up. If you can, try to at least get up onto your elbows, right? And you want to engage the muscles of your back, your lower back. And you want to arch your back. Try bringing your chin up. You just want to hold that. And initially you may only be able to do about 10 seconds, but try to work your way up to, about 20 seconds, holding this up. And when you finish with that time, bring yourself back down, relax for a few seconds, okay? Bring yourself back up again. Do this again, to a count of 10. Work your way up. Eventually you can do this for longer periods of time. It's going to engage all the muscles in your lower back, and it's going to help straighten your spine. And ultimately, it's going to actually start pushing that disc back into place. Okay? Especially the more you do this, it's going to help you regain alignment of your spine and actually help to heal that bulging herniated disc. At least that's the way it was explained to me, and in my case, worked wonders. Your mileage may vary, but it's worth a try. And certainly, if this helps, it'll spark your interest to look a little deeper and do some more research on your own. Now, the next thing I did, I'm not even sure this is really part of the McKinsey protocol, but this worked a lot for me as well. And it was simply just because, that pain you're feeling and the reason you're pushed over to that side, you're having a muscle spasm, right? partially to protect the spine that's injured. So what you want to do is regain some flexibility in that muscle. So you really want to stretch it out as well, right? So, the initial exercises are actually to help fix the disc. This is going to actually help take away some of that pain by alleviating that muscle spasm, somewhat stretching out the muscles. So what I find works best for me is a yoga pose that I learned called child's pose. You may be familiar with it, I don't know. But basically child's pose is this. You're basically going to kind of sit on your ankles, get your feet out behind you, right? Your toes pointed out. You're sitting down low. The child's pose is simply this. Lean forward, and you're going to reach your hands out, all right? And it's going to be hard at first, but you'll get better. As you become more limber, you're going to reach more and more forward over time. And by over time, I mean several sessions of this, right? As you loosen up. And you want to just stretch everything out. But you should feel the stretch throughout your lower back. That's it. So, you're going to want to do that a few times just to stretch out that lower back. Of course, there's a lot of other stretches and poses and things you can do. These are the highlights. These are the things that I found that work absolutely the best for me. All right, that's it. So these floor exercises, you're going to want to do them, probably about 3 times, 4 times maybe, little sessions spaced throughout the day. Right? Maybe when you first wake up, maybe midday, towards the evening. And in my case, within a day or two, I was a new man. Everything was working properly again, and I felt good. I would advise doing it, for a small period of time, even after you start feeling better, just to make sure that you are continuing the healing process. And of course, after that, take it slow. You're going to take some time, before you're fully healed, but the goal here is to get you mobile again. So that's it. Again, this is what worked for me. It may not work for you, but hopefully it encourages you to, start doing some research in the right direction. Look into the McKinsey protocol. Look into yoga. These things can help. You know what? Again, consult a professional. I'm just telling you what worked for me. So do your research and get strong.